What's up, you guys? It's Steve here with some pretty shocking news as stimulus checks, stimulus packages, things can change in an instant with midterm elections right around the corner. Now, we've got some pretty shocking news. I've got some video footage from the White House and new updates and headlines that I'm going to get you caught up on. This is your breaking news stimulus check update and stimulus package update. Now, first off, we're getting some conflicting messages from the White House. Now, let me know your thoughts on this. Take a look at this, you guys. Inflation Reduction Act, 4 ways that it will kick in right away. And we just heard from the White House that, yes, you're going to feel the positive benefits of this bill immediately. Take a look at this clip from White House Economic Advisor Brian Deese.
Well, this bill will have immediate impact for the American people.
Now, I'm going to share with you the full clip so you can see it in its entirety, but let me know, do you agree with that? Because we're hearing from Republicans and a lot of economists that are saying that they don't think this bill is going to be helping out at all. As a matter of fact, it might make inflation worse. And Americans polled, about 80% of them are saying, yeah, we don't believe that this bill is going to be doing anything to help out with inflation. And take a look at this, you guys. Right after the bill was signed, I shared this with you in a previous video, Manchin admits Inflation Reduction Act won't tame inflation for Americans anytime soon. Senator Joe Manchin said after President Joe Biden signed the Inflation Reduction Act into law that it would take some time before the investment brought down prices nationwide across America. And if you missed that video, check it out right after this one as I give you all the details. As Joe Manchin confessed, this bill, you're not going to feel the benefits, which is actually the complete opposite of what we're hearing from the White House. So let me know your thoughts, you guys. Do you agree with Joe Manchin? Is he telling the truth right now that they passed the bill, but it's not going to do anything for Americans? Which begs the question, then why did you sign the bill when Americans are hurting, that we need provisions? We've been promised checks, child tax credits, Social Security increases. You pass this thing that doesn't benefit anybody and you admit it, but then the White House is coming out and saying, no, you're going to feel the benefits immediately. Now, I'm going to share with you the video footage and let me know what your thoughts are on this. Now, also, as I mentioned, all of this is pivotal around the midterm elections. And Joe Manchin also confessed, we recently heard him say that every decision that is being made right now in Congress is all focused on winning midterm elections. And as you guys know, we have seen stimulus checks, child tax credits, all of these things getting thrown around back to the forefront right now because of elections. And yes, it's because they want to win. And it doesn't matter what political party it is. Usually whoever's in control, they're going to try to get it done so that way the American people will say, oh, the person that's in power, they just got me a check. As take a look at this, you guys, just coming out. Governor Kemp slammed federal stimulus, but he's using it now to help win his election. They're saying his re-election. So before they had said that he believed that the federal stimulus shouldn't have gone out and that Georgia did not get their fair share, but now he's saying stimulus checks for everybody right before these elections. Take a look, you guys. Critics slam $350 cash payments to Georgia welfare recipients engineered by Governor Kemp. This just came out today, you guys. So he just made this announcement, new checks in the state of Georgia, and they're saying he's using it as a tool to try to win these re-elections, which is no surprise. Let me know your thoughts. All of the politicians are doing it right now. We're well aware of it. Do you think that that makes you not want to vote for him in power? Or do you think that's they're all doing it and we're just glad that we're getting some sort of help? I'll vote for you if you send me a check. Let me know your thoughts, you guys. Now, also, in addition to that, wanted to mention there is now over 8,000. We're approaching 9,000 people that have signed up for the comprehensive list of all checks across the nation. As I mentioned, Georgia, California, there's Florida, there's Texas. I have stimulus checks across the nation on different levels for states, cities, counties. A lot of the city and county checks are not well known. People don't know these exist. And in many cases, those government agencies, they don't know who's supposed to get them either. And they require that you apply for the checks. And if you don't know, how can you get the checks? So I'm making sure that people know about every check available. And in most cases, they're only available for a limited amount of time. You got to be able to know about it, apply, be eligible, get that check. Otherwise, if you miss out, we're hearing the money just goes back to the federal government and you totally miss out. And it's a shame. And I covered some more details on that in a previous video as to why there's some reasons that politicians aren't necessarily spreading the word. But you guys, I want to make sure that my viewing community doesn't miss out on anything. So I'm assembling this. Should have it ready in a couple of days. Add your name to the wait list if you haven't already. Add your email at www.reliefroadmap.com. I'm going to have that out here for you very soon. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and take a look at this video footage from the White House so you can hear it directly from them for yourself as to what they're saying. You're going to be feeling the positive impacts of this bill right away. Now, also, let me know, do you think that is going to be enough to convince voters to keep them in power, Democrats that is, in Congress? Or do you think they're going to need to dish out some stimulus checks, child tax credits, Social Security increases, all of the provisions of the past that have been promised that have not fulfilled? We will see you guys, like I said, at any moment. These things could change. We could see these pop up right away. And we're less than 90 days away from the midterm elections. So I'm going to get you caught up on the latest. Let's go ahead and dive right in. But before we do me a quick favor. If you appreciate the updates, don't forget, smash the like button for me. Helps out the channel a ton. Thank you so much. Leave your comments, share this out. If you want to stay up to date, it's totally free. Why not come join the Ram fam? All you got to do is very quickly hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. I cite all my sources, link them in the description, put them on the screen, read right from them so you know it's the latest. Any specific questions for me, hop onto Instagram, shoot me a DM at SteveRam3. Be sure to spell it right, because right now I've got impersonators, imposters here on YouTube and on Instagram. They're spelling the name a little bit wrong, claiming that they're me, trying to get you to send them money for some Bitcoin scam. You guys, don't fall for that. That is not me. As a matter of fact, on my second channel, Steve Ram Finance, I actually just recently did a video giving you all the information that you need to buy Bitcoin or crypto on your own. You don't need to send your information to anybody using some apps. And I give you all the details in that video. Check that video out as well on my second channel if you're interested. I hope that that channel is a blessing to you. But with that being said, you guys, let's dive right in, hear from the White House on what they're saying is going to be on the way here very soon.
They're calling it the Inflation Reduction Act, although there is a considerable debate over just how much it would reduce inflation in the near term. Passed with no Republican votes, it aims to lower prescription drug costs, address global warming, and raise taxes on billion-dollar corporations. So joining us now is Brian Deese, the White House Director of the National Economic Council. Thank you very much, Brian. It's a big day for you all, and I know you're looking forward to the signing ceremony. So what does the legislation mean in the short term? Because some of the drug price controls, as you know, will not be felt until 2026 and only for senior citizens on Medicare because of compromises that had to be made in a 50-50 Senate to get it through. So we're aware of just what a tightrope you were all walking. But where do you think the inflation impact will be?
Well, this bill will have immediate impact for the American people, and it will also take on some of the longer-term economic issues that we have never really fully taken on in this country. In terms of the immediate impact, this fall, there'll be 13 million Americans who will see lower health care premiums as a result of this bill. That means concrete savings for people and also the peace of mind that they'll be able to continue to afford health insurance. Starting at the beginning of next year, we'll begin implementing a $2,000 out-of-pocket cap on prescription drug costs for those people who are in Medicare, which is a huge savings, particularly for people who have chronic conditions like cancer. And as you said, across time, Medicare negotiating for better prescription drug prices will benefit the federal government with lower costs to Medicare, but also people as well. But also immediately, and this is often overlooked, the tax credits, consumer tax credits for energy efficiency and clean energy, many of them are in place as of enactment when the president signs this bill. So that means that a family who's thinking, who needs to upgrade their heating system or their air conditioning or their appliances, those are costs that everybody has to do. This bill will give people a tax credit that will make those cheaper. And also to put in energy efficient appliances or energy efficient heating, that means they'll pay less on their utility bills going forward as well. Those are benefits that people are going to start to see immediately.
Now, so why does the Congressional Budget Office, which is bipartisan, estimate that the proposal is only going to change the inflation rate by less than 0.1% over the next 2 years in either direction?
Well, look, you've seen a lot of economists, a lot of experts, former Treasury secretaries of both political parties, and economists, including those who have been critical of us in the past, say that this is the most meaningful step that Congress and the president can take to try to reduce price pressures in the economy. And the principal driver behind that is that it's reducing the deficit, so it's complementary to what the Federal Reserve is trying to do, at the same time that it's actually providing those direct savings to consumers. And so, look, there are different models that show different magnitudes of impact. But one place I would say that I think most models underestimate is on the energy side. This bill will increase supply of energy, more affordable energy in the United States. And the the easing of price pressures that will happen in the economy when we have more secure supply, more reliable supply, and lower cost supply of energy, that filters through not only to household balance sheets, but for companies and investment, our industrial production in the United States. So this bill is doing the sensible long-term reforms that we need, like on energy and prescription drugs, but in a way that moves us in the right direction on inflation in the short term as well.
And as you point out, one of the biggest achievements is on climate change. It's expected to reduce carbon emissions by 40% by 2030. So that is a big achievement considering where we were. So tell us about the incentives, though, to get people to switch to electric vehicles. How quickly do you think that can be accomplished?
Sure. So with the passage of this bill, when the president signs it into law today, the United States will, for the first time ever, be able to say that we can confidently meet our climate goals through 2030 and beyond. And we can do it in a way that increases energy security with more secure, reliable supply here at home. That's a big deal. It's a big deal for the country and for American families, but it's also a big deal for the world and our ability to lead on this critical issue internationally as well. And the way that we do that is to provide long-term technology-neutral incentives to make sure that we're generating more clean energy, but also the innovations behind that clean energy here in America. And that's where the electric vehicles issue comes in place. This bill provides incentives for electric vehicles, but importantly for the production, the manufacturing, and the manufacturing of those batteries that go into those vehicles happening here in the United States, and with secure supply chains where we're not reliant on countries that don't share our values across time. That's going to set a high bar for American companies, but our goal is to set a high bar and to say, if you want those tax credits, you need to work to try to build more secure supply chains, and that's something that we're going to work closely with the industry on in the coming years.
Now, a big part of the taxes that were originally in the bill were compromised out because of Senator Sinema. The legislation doesn't have everything that was originally proposed. Senator Sinema was able to remove the carried interest tax provision, and then in the final day of the vote, a controversial tax break that benefits private equity managers, as well as the requirement that private equity partners pay the 15% corporate, not pay the, rather the 15% corporate income tax. So do you think the U.S. is ever going to be able to beat back those lobbyists and campaign contributors who clearly, got to the Arizona senator at a key moment, and she had all the leverage?
I think the answer to that is yes. Look, you see in this bill that areas where for years people have said that special interests in Washington would always win and that there would never be any progress. You see historic progress in this context. Prescription drug negotiation for the first time ever. Climate legislation at a scale of ambition that we've never done before while investing in energy security. All of these are areas where we have been told in Washington consistently that the special interests would always win out. Is this bill perfect? No. We have more work to do. Certainly carried interest is something that the president is committed to fixing and solving and will stay at it. But on the tax side, what is in this bill is quite significant. We will, for the first time, have a corporate minimum tax that makes sure that companies have to pay 15% of their income and the income that they report to Wall Street investors in tax. And so that the days when companies can say that they've made large profits but then end up paying nothing in tax because of complicated accounting rules, those are going to be over as a result of this 15% minimum tax. That's a big step forward, and we're going to make a historic investment in the IRS to make sure that the wealthiest Americans that use complicated accounting and lawyering techniques to avoid paying taxes, that we're going to crack down on that as well. And I want to add, we're doing all of that, notwithstanding some of the misinformation that's out there, we're doing all of that without raising taxes at all on anybody making less than $400,000 a year. As you know, that was a commitment that the president made, and he's making good on that commitment with this legislation.
Yeah, there's been a lot of misinformation about that. Thanks for clearing it up. And thanks for making sense of all of this, Brian Deese.
So there you have it, you guys. Now, let me know your thoughts. Do you believe the White House? Do you think that we're going to feel the positive impacts of this Inflation Reduction Act right away, immediately? Do you think that the taxation is going to not happen to anybody making $400,000 a year or less, despite what we heard, the confession from Senator Joe Manchin, and what Republicans and a lot of economists are saying, and what the majority of the nation believes? Do you believe the White House, or do you think, nope, well, whatever unfolds, you guys, we're going to be seeing the impacts of this because it has passed, it's going through, and we're going to see what actually unfolds here. And you guys, I will keep you up to date every step of the way. And as we're hearing, things are going to be ramping up here as we get closer to these midterm elections coming up in November. And with that being said, you guys, that is the latest. Thank you so much for joining me here on the channel. If you made it this far and you haven't already and you appreciate the content, don't forget, take a quick second, smash that like button for me. Helps out the channel a ton. Thank you so much. Leave your comments, share this out. If you want to stay up to date, it's totally free. Why not? Come join the Ram fam, hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. Any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. Consider joining my second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth, personal finance, more content coming on that channel to help you out as well. And also, if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Add your email to www.reliefroadmap.com to get access to the comprehensive list of all stimulus checks. That's going to be coming soon. Your email will be added to the wait list. Going to have that ready hopefully in a couple days here so you can have access to everything. But with that being said, you guys, once again, thank you so much for joining me. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.